My name is Kevin Johnson, and I'm president of the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. Well, for me, it has been being the first at so many things in my profession. In economic development, there is a tendency to default to people who have the perfect track record in order to do the work that has been tasked and assigned. And me being the first African-American president of the Athens, Georgia Chamber of Commerce, me being the first African-American president at the High Point, North Carolina Economic Development Corporation, all of those types of firsts has allowed me to get in rooms that weren't built and designed for me to be in. And I was able to get in them and learn so much about how business is done and what decisions needed to be made in order to invest capital in communities that need it. And I'm very thankful that I've had those opportunities along the way. When they can see you ask questions, when they can see you feel like you have command of a subject, when people can see you say, well, why would you do it that way? When there's nothing in your background, nothing that they thought that you had the capability of asking, questions that they didn't think you had the capability of asking, and you ask them in a way that resonates with people who doesn't necessarily know that you have that kind of background, gives them a level of confidence and pride that you know the questions to ask. You know what answer to seek, and you can build a strategy based on that. My legacy is built on the shoulders of so many people who they didn't think I was paying attention, and I was paying attention. I was paying attention to my hero, John Lewis. I was paying attention to the person who gave me my first shot in economic development, a guy named Dan Lynch. I was paying attention to my English teacher who didn't think I would amount to nothing, coming from a little small town in South Carolina. And when she told me I could, I believed her. And so my legacy is that I know people are paying attention. So you kind of carry yourself in a certain kind of way. You speak with a level of confidence because I know people are watching. And I want that to be something that those who I don't know are looking would inspire to be. I want my legacy to be built on that kids that are living in this city and places that I've already worked can see their future from here, not see their future and find it somewhere else, but they can find their future in the city that they live in. And that means creating an environment where jobs and prosperity and innovation and building a future can be made here because of the investments that are being made on behalf of them. I want them to be able to find it here. And that's the legacy that I want to leave, that they were able to find their future right here in this city. I was in a small clothing store and I bought a sport coat. It fit great. And when I walked out of the store, this young man walked up to me and said, "Where'd you get that sport coat?" And I said, "Look, I buy all my clothes from this store." And he went in, bought a sport coat, and I ran into him several weeks later, and he said, "I was inspired to start looking a little different because of you and how you carried yourself." And I thought, wow, um, I didn't know that something as small as what you wear could influence and impact what someone else did, and how people carry themselves, and how they speak, by just directing that person to buying a sport coat. And I thought, wow, that's pretty strong. That every city that I've worked in is better than when I found it. And I can say that because my career has taken me from one side of this country to the other, that every city that I've worked in, I've learned that it was much better than when I found it, when I arrived, because of some of the things that I was able to accomplish in my career. And I think that when you can be in any situation, whether it's in a city that you work in a relationship that you have, that if it's better than when you found it, you should mark that as a successful journey in your life. The best advice I ever got was from a college professor. He said, when someone tells you you can't, find another way. And I tried to do that. When someone tells me I can't, I just go and find another way. If I didn't have it academically, I just try to find another way. If I didn't have the physical capability to get to where I needed to go, I found another way. Because the journey is the reward. Try not to be me. Focus on being you. And if you let your you come into the light, your experience will be far more rewarding than trying to duplicate me. I want you to be good at being you. I have so many. Where I am in my life now, as I start thinking about, legacy, that would have to be John Lewis, because it's trending now. But I remember meeting him, and I was so humbled by his presence and his humility and his humanity that I felt like no matter where I would go in my life, be humble, have a level of humility, but also understand that if life presents you an opportunity, don't just think about the opportunity for yourself. Think about that opportunity and how it would impact others. And John personified that. And I'm grateful to have had a chance to sit with him one-on-one, by myself, him and I, no distractions, and just dig into his humility and his humanity. Doing the work that I do, I'm excited for the transformation that's happening in our city, and that we are not close to hitting the high mark yet. I'm looking forward to one day turning on the television and the world says Detroit is not only all the way back, but it is setting a standard for the future of how America's cities should operate, and taking its rightful place as one of America's great cities. And I'm excited to be a part of trying to build that to a place that we will never return to what we've gone through in the past. Well, quite frankly, I was in shock. I was humbled by the honor, some of the people who are in the Power 50 or personal friends, and I seek guidance from them. Their presence has meant a lot to my life since I've been here in Detroit, and I hope that my presence on this list serves as an inspiration to young men and women who come from humble beginnings like myself. I'm just a little small town boy from South Carolina, whose grandfather was a fisherman on one side of my family, and my other grandfather was a sharecropper. And I just wish I could have had the opportunity to let my grandparents see me and say to them that I'm standing on you, and I'm leaning into you, because I don't think their dreams would have ever seen this far.